All right, so as we talk about some of these financial aid packages, I'd like you to follow along with me here in the PDF that's attached to this classroom post. You'll see some of the information that I have here on the screen, but I want to give you a moment to be able to maybe think through some of this stuff on your own before I just give you the answer. So I want to present a couple of scenarios, and I'd like to try to underscore the importance really of the matching of need to college financial aid, and then being able to analyze the financial aid packages, right? Remember, we're looking for what is the ultimate out-of-pocket expense, what is the net cost of the college based on cost of attendance minus any of the gift aid that's been given. What's the real cost of attendance? And then I'd also like you to keep in mind what is the breakdown of the financial aid package that's been awarded, right? What is the makeup of the financial aid package? How much of it is in loans and scholarships and grants and gift aid and non-gift aid? Okay. So please follow along the scenarios with me on the PDF that's attached to this classroom post. Okay. So scenario number one says that you have a student from Florida who lives in a single parent household and has no siblings. Her family income totals $25,000. The family has no savings and does not own a home. So if you had to, how would you kind of describe, in terms of need, her family circumstance? Take a moment to maybe think about that. If you need to reread that or want to just give a moment to think about it, hit pause on the video. And you can hit pause, you can hit play again when you are kind of done contemplating this. So if we look, couple of things that come to mind here. If I was a loan officer, if I was in the financial aid office and I was evaluating this, without seeing all of the details about her FAFSA, right? Single parent household, one income, all right? And the income, $25,000 a year, is not a lot of money. That's a pretty low income, actually. No savings, doesn't own their own home. So I'm going to probably say that in the grand scheme of things, single parent, low income, no savings, no home equity, you don't own the home. This is pretty high need. This is on the higher end of need, I would probably say. Generally, the higher your need, probably the quote better the financial aid package is going to wind up being. Right? So if you look down further on the page, they kind of lay out what is her financial aid package. Okay. So there's the total cost of attendance. Northwestern University. Northwestern is a great college right outside of Chicago, and $66,000 and change a year. And they list here that the expected family contribution is only $2,500. Right, so there is a significant need going on here. $63,000 worth of need. All right. And here's the financial aid package. Right, so we got a Pell Grant for $5,700, the FSEOG grant for $4,000, a pledge scholarship for $6,000, the Northwestern scholarship for $45,000, and federal work study. Right, so a total package here of $63,619. You can see here that they have covered all of the financial need. Okay, $63,000 worth of aid. So in the grand scheme of things, this is a lot of aid. This is a lot of aid. And if you look at the types of aid that she's been offered, how many of these are gift aid and how many are non-gift? Right. So if we look at that, grants, gift aid, grant, gift aid, scholarship, gift aid, scholarship, gift aid, federal work study, she'll have to work for it, but doesn't have to pay it back. This financial aid package is fantastic for her. A lot of aid and a lot of gift aid. It's all gift aid. There are no loans included in this particular financial aid package. So if you really were to look at it, the total cost of attendance, right, is $66,619. I'll just do the math here for the heck of it. 66,119 minus the total aid offered, 63,619. Yep. So the total cost to her family is only the expected contribution of $2,500. So to get a $66,000 education for $2,500 out of pocket, this is a fantastic financial aid package, right? But this is given because of need, right? She has a very high need in this family. The next scenario there, a student from Indiana is one of 2 children to be enrolled in college next year. Both parents are employed outside the home. Family's income is $165,875. They have $150,000 in home equity and $100,000 in savings, and the student has $5,000 in savings and investments. So what do you think? Where would we sit here in the family circumstance? Well, we look at income. Both parents combined $165,000, right? Right. So both parents are making about $82,000 and change a year, which is, in the grand scheme of things, is a fair salary, is a modest middle class salary for 2 parents. Right. They do have a little bit of home equity, so they have bought a house, so they're currently paying off a mortgage, and they have some invested in the house, and they have a pretty nice chunk in savings, and the student has a good chunk in savings, right? And one of the other things we said the FAFSA pays attention to is the number of children in college. So 2 kids in college, and if they're both going to Northwestern, that's 2 really nice tuition bills. A solid middle class income, some good savings. They have ownership in the home, so they are maybe kind of in the middle of the range here. They maybe have moderate need in this case. Would paying for Northwestern on this salary be a challenge? Yeah, probably could be. So that's why I would probably put them in the moderate need category. And if we look further down on the page there, you can see the financial aid package they were offered. So total cost of attendance is $65,819. You see here the expected family contribution is significantly higher than the girl from Florida, right? So here's a $25,000 a year. So they still have a need of $40,000 in change, right? And because of that, they were offered a couple of things. First, a really nice scholarship of $35,000 a year, a subsidized federal direct Stafford loan at $3,500, and federal work study at $2,500, right, for a total of $40,294. Again, Northwestern has met the financial need of the family, right? So we want to look really at the we want to look definitely at the breakdown of this. Because they met the financial need, the actual cost to the family itself out of pocket does have to be $25,525. Okay. Maybe they have some savings. Maybe that's where part of the savings is going to come from. But they have been afforded a loan. Right? So the student has taken out a loan of $3,500. Don't have to pay back the scholarship. Don't have to pay back the work study. Okay. So the question really becomes, is this $25,525, where is that coming from? And this family is either going to look to take out maybe some personal loans to take that out. So assuming this is going to happen every year, it's possible the family is going to take out $100,000 worth of debt, right? Or take out part of it, use some of their savings, and take out the rest in loans. I don't know. If you really look at it, this is a mix of aid, right? So we have some scholarships, some work study, and some loans. This is probably an average financial aid package right here. Right? So remember the direct loans, the subsidized federal loans, these are from the government. Right? So borrowing $3,500 a year from the government, and then trying to figure out where the other $25,000 of family contribution is coming from. So here, moderate need, somewhere in the middle, and you have a decent mix. There are some scholarships in here, but also definitely some loans and some other decisions to be made about the expected family contribution. Scenario 3, a student from Texas is the only member of her family in college. She has 2 younger brothers. Both of her parents are employed and together earn $99,500. Oops, sorry. Yep. So that's maybe an average parent income of just about $50,000 a year, which is definitely middle of the road in the middle class there. They have $100,000 in home equity and another $10,000 in investments and savings. So if we look maybe at their family circumstance, there'll be one child in college with two younger siblings at home, so still two students to support and two children to support. A modest income, some savings. They have a little bit of their home equity, or they own their home. This again, I think, would be somewhere in the middle. Probably, I would say lower middle. If we had to put that on a scale, maybe on a scale of need, 10 being the most need, 1 being no need. I may put them at a 5 or 6, right? Maybe right in the middle, or a little bit lower than that. And here's their package. So total cost of attendance, $66,269. Expected family contribution of $20,000, so a little bit less than the last family, and the financial need of $46,000. The difference between them. And they have a very, very similar package than the other family does. So they had a pretty good chunk of a Northwestern scholarship, also have work study, and here are two loans going on here, right? So a $2,000 loan and a $3,500 loan. Here's a subsidized loan. Remember, subsidized loans are often issued on a needs basis, right? So of the $20,000, really we're going to have about $5,500 worth of loans plus 25 covered in the difference. So again, this family is going to have to decide. All right, I'm probably going to need to take the loans. The student will take the loans. Sorry. Student will take the loans, but then the family's got to figure out where the other 20 is coming from. They don't have a ton of savings. So maybe the parents are going to take out plus loans, or the student is going to have to take out personal loans. So again, middle of the road here, a good mix of some aid, mix of scholarship, work study, and loans. Scenario 4. A student from Illinois is one of two siblings and will be the only family member in college this year. Both parents are employed and together earn $425,000 a year. That's about $212,000 per parent. They have $285,000 in home equity and $324,000 in savings and investments. Student has $2,500 in savings, and the expected family contribution exceeds the cost of attendance. Yeah. One child in college, one younger sibling, very high income, high savings, very nice home equity. Yep, this family is in a very good financial position. They probably don't have a lot of need here. They could probably afford, quite honestly, even to pay for a Northwestern college education, could afford all of their tuition bills out of savings if they had to, which is a great position to be in. That's wonderful. So what do you think the financial aid package is going to look like? So total cost of attendance, $66,519. Expected family contribution, $65,519. That should say $66,519. Yeah, there is no need here. The family can totally take care of the cost of attendance on their own. So what did Northwestern offer them as their financial aid tools, right? Everything they offered them is in loans. It's all loans. And if you look, the loan, the Stafford loan for the student, is an unsubsidized loan. So that is not a need-based loan. Right. So if the student's going to pay on this, the student's going to take out $5,500 a year. Remember, plus loans are for parents, right? So maybe mom and dad, if they're not going to spend the savings, if they're going to take and borrow the money, they've offered the balance of this tuition in loans. So this entire package is made up of loans. So it's technically aid, will help you pay for it. It's probably not the best. There's no gifts here. All of this has to be repaid. You're going to pay interest on it. So in this particular case, because the family makes so much money and has so many assets, they don't need any assistance to go to college. Right. So here are 4 examples of not only 4 packages that are very much need-based. Right. right? So honestly, if you are looking at the cost of college today, which is outrageous, even now at some of the state schools and the city schools, it's still a significant cost. If you're looking at this and saying, I can't afford this, the answer is it's okay. Apply. File the FAFSA. If you know you're in a kind of a tenuous financial situation where you don't think mom and dad can do it, or if it's a single family household and one income, and it's okay. You actually may really benefit from the financial aid process. It doesn't hurt to apply. If you are in a position where your family is very comfortable and you have really a solid income and good investments and good property and all of that stuff, that's great. Apply also. You should apply for financial aid. Worst comes to worst is that you get a package that looks like this. It's all loans, and then you decide if you want to borrow the money or you just want to pay it out of your pocket. But you might be able to be offered some scholarships, which are great. Scholarships that are not need-based, anyone can get those, right? So it doesn't hurt to apply. And worst comes to worst, you say, yep, we're not going to do the loans. We'll just be able to pay it out of pocket. So. All right, last part just about this. When you get your financial aid package, so sometimes imagine this is like the package, or if we look back at one of these other packages, right? Maybe this is the package that you get. They'll send you the nice little letter that kind of lays it out, but then they'll also send you like a form you have to send back, which says, I'm going to accept the financial aid, right? So maybe here is the letter you got, and here's all of the different financial awards you've been offered. So here that they've offered you $48,200 in total aid. Just so you know, you do not have to take all of the aid. You don't have to. If you look on this mock-up here, they will often give you like the sheet you have to sign and return back to the financial aid office, or send back to them. You can accept or decline the awards you've been given, right? So maybe, first of all, I am not going to turn away free money. All right. That's silly to reject a scholarship or a grant. So maybe you would take the scholarships, right? I want the academic scholarship. I want the dean's scholarship. I want the grant. Great. And maybe you decide, I don't really want to do the work study. I would like to just be a student. I don't want to have to go get a job. So you know what? I'm going to decline the work study. And if I had to, out of those two loans, you know what? I will hold on to the subsidized loan because I'll take out the loan. I have to, but I'd rather let the government pay the interest on it. And I will reject the unsubsidized loan. And mom and dad are okay with taking the plus loan. So when you get your financial aid package, you don't have to take all of it. If you, for some reason, you win the lottery, or you're one of your family members leaves you money in a will or something, and you want to pay off your semester tuition and not have to take loans, yeah, great. That semester we won't take loans. I remember very distinctly at some point, I had money on my account, and for some reason there was some refund or maybe we over borrowed in one semester, and I had a balance on my account at the college in one semester, and then the financial aid came back up again, and there was like $3,500 of loans that was like, oh, well, I don't need to borrow that money this semester. I already have a $3,500 credit. So I rejected one of the loans. Say, great, I'm not going to borrow that this semester. So when you get your financial aid package, I want you to review it, and you can decide what parts of this package you like to keep and say, yes, I'll take that aid, and what parts you're going to be able to decline and say, no, I will find another way to do that. Right? So the big takeaways from all of this is, honestly, it's not about the total aid given. It is completely about the net cost to you and your family, right? Total cost of attendance minus the gift aid, right? So what is it really going to cost you out of pocket? And then when we talk about out-of-pocket costs, how are you going to do that? Are you doing it from savings, or are you doing it by borrowing? Are you doing it from loans? How much is that going to be, right? Especially in the loans category. How much of this is going to be taken out of loans? In this particular example alone, this is $20,000 a semester being used in loans. Oh, I'm sorry, $24,500 in a semester if you had the parent loans in there. So How much of your financial aid package is made up of gifts and how much is made up of loans, right, is really the way to look at your financial aid packages. In today's day and age, with the cost of college, you should not feel bad about making college decisions based on finances. If college was cheaper, I would tell all of you to challenge yourself and go for a college that has a great name and has a great reputation and all that. College is just so expensive right now. I don't blame anyone for making financial decisions for their colleges. Quite honestly, that's how we made our decision for college. I went to St. John's. St. John's now is just looking the other day for one of your homework assignments. St. John's is not cheap. St. John's, by the time it's all in with tuition and room and board and fees, could push $60,000 a year. It wasn't like that when I went there. I think it was pushing $21,000 when I went there. And we had applied to St. John's. Honestly, I applied because I knew I would get in. Didn't really think about it too much. And the first time we went to the campus to look at it was after we were accepted. And we saw the financial aid package that came back, and they did really well by us. We were going to have three kids in college by the time my sophomore year came around. My parents, my mom was like a stay-at-home mom, doing some side work here and there, but my dad had just retired and was working for the city and made a decent income, but we were not wealthy at all. And somehow the finances worked. The numbers that came back were great, and we looked at it and said, you know what, this could be it. This could be the school for us. They gave us a really great financial offer, and then we went to see the school and took the tour and met the people, and ultimately decided on St. John's and had a fantastic time there. I wouldn't trade my time in college for anything. So, and we made the decision ultimately based on finances. So, if you're looking at that, and most of us should be, it's okay. It really is okay to make your decisions based on the finances and what you can afford without crippling yourself in debt. So take the time, if you haven't already done so, to look over your financial aid letters, work with your parents, figure out what you can afford, what you're going to contribute, what your parents are going to contribute, and make that decision smartly. Walk into that decision having the right information and knowing what you're looking at when you're trying to figure out, where do I best spend my money?